Divorce in California can be a simple and straightforward process. But as a divorce lawyer in Beverly Hills, I can tell you that with high net worth families, it usually doesn't work that way. So, whether you're thinking about divorce, currently in it, or just curious about what it looks like in a high net worth area, this video will give you the full picture. Let's start with the fundamentals. California is what's called a no-fault divorce state. That just means you don't have to prove anybody was at fault in order to get the divorce. There's no need for there to have been cheating, abuse, abandonment, or any of that. It's enough that you just say you and your spouse had irreconcilable differences, and that's enough. Here's how the standard process usually goes in a nutshell. Step 1, you or your spouse will file a petition for divorce. Step 2, the other spouse is served and responds. Step 3, both parties have to exchange financial disclosures. Step 4, you attempt to reach a settlement, often done through mediation. And if that fails, step 5, you go to trial. Now here's how things can get sticky in a place like Beverly Hills or in any high net worth divorce. We're talking about multi-million or billion-dollar estates, stock portfolios, luxury properties, business interests, and other assets. Many divorces here also involve public figures. So for us, privacy becomes a major priority. That's why a lot of couples in Beverly Hills use private judges or mediators to keep things out of the public eye and away from the courtroom spotlight. Now, let's talk about the most common disputes we see. Number 1, asset division. California is a community property state. If you don't have a prenup, that means anything earned or bought during the marriage is generally split 50-50. But in high net worth divorces, that simple rule can get very messy. Stock options may have been earned partly before and partly during the marriage. Businesses might have been started before the marriage, but then grown significantly and expanded while the couple was together. There may be trusts, overseas investments, or multiple homes to sort through. Figuring out what's community property and what's separate, and then putting a fair value on all of it, is far more complex than it is in a typical case where there might be less assets. The other thing commonly in dispute is the issue of spousal support. In most divorces, support is about making sure one spouse can cover their basic living costs. But with high net worth couples, it's about maintaining a lifestyle. Courts look at what life looked like during the marriage. Were there private schools? Were there multiple staff members, multiple residents, frequent travel? Then they have to figure out what it really costs to keep that lifestyle going. And both sides often disagree on those numbers, which makes spousal support one of the most contested issues. Child custody, the other big source of dispute. The law always looks at the best interests of the children in making determinations about custody, but high net worth families often face unique challenges. Parents may travel frequently, live in more than one state or country. Kids may be cared for by nannies or staff who play a huge role in their daily lives. So the custody plans have to account for these realities and still give children stability. And that makes custody disputes far more complicated than they might be in the average divorce. Now, because the stakes are so high in these cases, one thing that comes up again and again in Beverly Hills divorces is prenuptial agreements. A prenup can decide ahead of time how property will be divided or whether spousal support will be paid. Prenuptial agreements can protect inherited wealth, business assets, and even future income. Without one, you're left sorting through all of these complicated issues in court and leaving it up to a judge to decide. And that's when things can get drawn out and very complicated. But here's the catch. A prenup is only valid if it's signed voluntarily with full financial disclosures having been made in advance. And each party has to have independent legal counsel giving them advice. If not, the prenup could be tossed out of court and the parties are back to square one. Another key difference in high net worth divorces is how the couples resolve their divorce. In simpler cases with fewer assets, couples might sit down, agree on how to split things, and just file the paperwork in court. A judge signs off on it and it's done. But with high net worth cases, that's rarely possible. The issues are too complex and there's often too much at stake. So going to court and litigating becomes the necessary process, but those issues can take years in court and cost hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in legal fees. With mediation or collaborative divorce, they can keep control of the outcome and avoid airing their dirty laundry in public. So how long does it all take? Even the simplest divorce in California takes a minimum of 6 months. That's due to the mandatory waiting period that the law requires parties go through before signing off on a divorce. But in Beverly Hills, with complex finances, contested custody, and usually multiple legal teams involved, it's not uncommon for a divorce to stretch out over a year or more. If you're heading into this process, here are a few tips that can make a huge difference. Number 1, hire the right attorney. Not just any divorce lawyer, one that specializes in high net worth cases. Number 2, don't hide assets. Courts have seen it all, and getting caught can backfire big time, trust me. And number 3, put the kids first. Custody battles can turn into a toxic situation fast. Always keep their best interests at heart. And number 4, take care of your own mental health. Divorce is tough, even when it's amicable. Therapy, support groups, and self-care go a long way. Divorce marks the end of a chapter, but it can also be the beginning of a new, healthier one. Many people find more peace, more purpose, and a clearer vision for their future on the other side. Whether you're starting over, rebuilding, or co-parenting, you can come out stronger. If you're considering divorce and just want to better understand your options, reach out to us at 310-271-6290. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better prepared you'll be. If you found this helpful, like, comment, and subscribe for more legal insights.